Hey guys, welcome to this For Whoever reading. Let's jump in and see what messages want to come through. Messages for whoever needs to receive this. I hope y'all are doing well. All right, we have fate and fortune with the Wheel of Fortune, karma cycles, and divine intervention coming into play here. So you might be closing out an old cycle and going into a new one, likely more abundant. When the Wheel of Fortune comes out, it's indicative that we've just ended a significant karmic cycle in our lives and that we're now moving into a new beginning. But usually those two kind of blend in one with the other and you straddle both worlds for a little while. Let's go further into this and see what's playing out here. I have death. Okay, so exactly what we were saying before. This is indicative that an old cycle has come to a close and a new one is now on the horizon and making its way in. Okay, so whatever has happened before, you can find comfort in knowing that it is now behind you. You've successfully closed it out. So now you can move on to something new and abundant. Let's take a look here and go further. Messages for whoever needs to receive this. Messages for whoever needs to receive this. Oh, I had a couple wanting to come out. No, here we go. Okay, I have meditation and escapism. Okay, so when we're in a time of transition and things are coming to an end, even though they may have been things that we wanted to have, end, or maybe they, weren't things that we didn't want to have end and they ended anyway, this can evoke a lot of turmoil within us and so can make us feel a little bit uneasy, unsure, and not really knowing exactly what to do with those emotions or those feelings or those thoughts. And so one of the things that we can do that's recommended is to get into a place of calmness and meditation so that we can become a little more clear. And even if we don't need to become clear on a situation or, the future, it can actually just help to kind of just bring things to an ease. So sometimes when we've been through those really challenging cycles that we've had to close out, they aren't very easy. And so it can just kind of evoke a lot of energy within us that can be a little bit chaotic. And so this time of meditation and rest can really allow the nervous system to kind of calm down. Okay, so that's what you're being guided to do at this moment in time so that you can just get things a little more calm, and can find comfort in this ending, and waiting for that new beginning to take place. I have fire to light my path. Okay, so again, you are ready for something new to come in. So this time of getting the energies down to a calm roar will help ignite a fire within you for something new. So you might be really eager again for that new to come in. But, again, when we're closing things out of the old, it just takes time and we go through a transitionary period where we're kind of in a holding period so that things can kind of just come, forth for us for the new. And we also need to process, what we've just been through in that karmic cycle and, integrate that into wisdom and knowledge for the future. Okay. So this just creates that little bit of a holding period, but yet we're ready to go. So you might just feel like a tiger in a cage right now, and you're just roaring and ready to go and kind of out with the old and in with the new. And when do we get started? And that is just kind of adding a little bit of fuel to the fire. So let's, see what's going to come out here in the tarot so I can get more guidance for you in the situation. Let's take a look at the overall situation energy of the situation, please, overall. I have the Page of Cups. Okay, so this is an energy of just kind of a little bit of a playful, emotional energy. This is an energy where you're just kind of like, hey, things have ended. I've come out anew and I'm feeling really good and I want to see what's coming forth new for me. Okay, let's take a look at the recent past. Recent past. This is a nice little energetic, emotional opening to the heart of saying, what's next. And that's a good sign because that tells me that you've learned from this past cycle. And not only have you learned from it, but now you've learned to also be open to something new. And not only finding something new, but finding a passionate, eagerness for it as well. Let's take a look at the recent past, please. Recent past. Okay, I have the Page of Pentacles. So again, this is that integration of the old. This is, that Page of Pentacle energy is just like a new grounded energy where it's saying, hey, I took time to learn and integrate the lessons from the previous cycle. And when are things going to start for me for the new? So good for you for integrating the, information that you learned and the knowledge and the wisdom and experience gained. Let's take a look at the present energies, present energy for this situation, please. Present energy. I have the Seven of Cups. Again, this is just kind of like, the world is my oyster. Where am I going? What am I going to do? There's plenty of options out here. What do I want to do next? Let's take a look at the near future for you. Near future. You may be just kind of wondering what you're passionate about and looking into a lot of different options. Maybe you're trying a lot of new things and now you're beginning to find things that bring you a lot of joy and wanting to invest further into them. I have the Eight of Swords coming out here in the near future. And this is just saying that you've really released yourself from those thought patterns that maybe you were struggling with before. Like I said, when we close out an old cycle and things come to an end, they just create a little bit of an uneasiness, okay? Even if they are things that we wanted to end and we're excited for them to end and really eager to move on from them, it can still evoke a lot of, thoughts that can keep us trapped. Okay. So this is saying that here in the near future, that as you begin to open yourself up to new passionate opportunities that will be, really fulfilling to you, that you might find really joy in, maybe some new hobbies, maybe some new friends, maybe just kind of getting out there and exploring and going traveling, whatever this is going to be for you, that you pick to kind of, maybe you're going to pick all kinds of different things and you're just going to try them all, like, Baskin Robbins 31 flavors. You're just kind of like, let me just take a test of every ice cream. I just want to see what's out there. And so this is going to help you to move beyond those restricted mindsets that you may have had that really held you back in the future. Maybe you weren't as outgoing and you weren't as willing to put yourself out there and try new things. And now, because of this ending, it may be evoking a little bit of excitement in you to the point where you're opening yourself up to all new things and you're willing to try anything and everything. And so this will help kind of keep those mind games, down, and it will move you out of an old thought pattern that you may have bought into before of, hey, you know what? Life is no fun. I can't try new things. I'm not good at that and I'm kind of shy. And now this is going to, light that fire in you where you're able to take those risks and open yourself up and break yourself free of that. You may just not see how the future is going to play out right now, or maybe how all of these little opportunities that you're trying out are going to play out, but that's okay. You don't have to see the whole picture for it to be playing out in your favor. Let's get some advice for you. Advice, please. Seven of Wands. Okay, so this is going out, trying new things, getting out of those old mindsets, but making sure that you're taking time to, take time for yourself. This is being very mindful of your energy. Okay, so this is about healthy boundaries and just making sure that you're being really careful and protective of your energy and how much you're exerting it. It's also saying, I know you're excited. I know you want things to, come together and try all these new, experiences, but just make sure that you're very mindful of your energy so that you don't get burnt out. You don't want to run out at the racehorse and just go full throttle and then burn yourself out at the end and lose. So this is kind of just saying, hey, be very mindful of your energy, take a step back, maybe, just let your jets cool a little bit and then, dive into these new opportunities a little at a time. Okay. Let's take a look at what's hidden, what you're not seeing, what's hidden in this situation that they may need clarity on. I have the 10 of Cups. Okay, so what's hidden here is your absolute emotional fulfillment. So it looks like, whatever has come to an end here, was for good reason. It's to put you in line with your highest timeline so that you can be the most fulfilled emotionally, mentally, in every possible way that you've ever dreamed of. Okay, so this is saying this is, putting you on track in alignment for that to actually happen. Now, what that means for you is only you can know that. So this, Seven of Cups energy that you have here, where you're kind of contemplating like, well, what do I want to do now? I want to try new things, and what do I want to try, and getting kind of stuck in that, or maybe you're resistant to trying these new things, okay? And you're just kind of worried things will play out like they did in the past. But this is saying, have faith, have no fear. This is saying if you put yourself out there, you get clear on what it is you want to make your, life happiest, the happiest that it can be. This really can be, something that you can achieve, but it's going to take, your actionable steps to do that. And it's also going to take a little bit of vulnerability for you to move beyond those fears of the old and know that, not everything is like that. Not everything is like how you've had experience before. And so keep yourself open to that, almost like a childlike energy where you're keeping your heart and your mind open to new things and having faith that, these dreams really can come true, and you really can create a life that you truly love and enjoy. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there and be open to all that comes along your path so that you can at least, find that happiness and that joy. Let's take a look at what you don't see coming in the near future. What don't they see coming in the next week or two? What don't they see coming? I have the King of Swords here. Okay. So what you don't see coming here in the next week or two is that you're going to get a really good sense of clarity on where it is you want to go. So you might be in a little bit of a confusion here. I have the Magician here on the bottom of the deck, which means that you're going to get very clear on what it is you want to create, whatever it is that you want to invest your time and energy into. Like I said, this could be an openness to everything. You're starting to feel that little bit of a fire in your belly, really eager to get out there and try new things, see what it is you even like at all, and really go out and get those things and experience them. And so this is saying that you're going to get into a state where you're going to overcome those old mindsets that were holding you back, restricting you from your best life, and you're going to be able to move forward with them in confidence and really manifest that dream life that you've been, hoping for. Okay. So it looks like all of your hard work is going to pay off. Just take a minute to take a step back, protect that energy of yours, get clear-minded, and be willing to try new things, be open and vulnerable and a childlike wonder. And, I think you're going to be very pleased with how your path plays out. I hope that you found this reading helpful. And until I see you again, take care.